Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Season 2. Don't bother asking. In last week's episode, we saw Max walk around the Adventurers Guild, looking for Yorick's nephew, Theodore. As Max was searching, Yorick was lurking, doubting, and making a fool of himself by spitting on one of his members. After finding Theodore, he and Max got acquainted, had a brief heart-to-heart talk, where Max encouraged him to do another ghost hunt. Against his better judgment, Theo excitedly got swept into it, and the two went to the farmlands later that evening for a ghost hunt. While they were out hunting for ghosts, Max and Theo got separated, but after a while, Max caught up with Theo, only to find that he had been attacked. Oh no. He helps cheer up little Theo, and finds out that he is the target of some of the senior members in the guild. Max helps him by showing him some compassion and encouragement, and afterwards, they encountered their first sighting. Oh! When the next day rose, the two returned to the guild and explained to Yorick that it was just a series of coincidences. It also made Yorick very hungry. But with the hunt debunked, Theo happily signed Max's first labor form and ended up helping him in return. Now Max is taking the rest of the day off to rest and recuperate while Yorick deals with Theo's bullies. Whew, that was long. Now we're moving on to episode 6, Cooking at the Mess Hall. After completing his first labor and leaving the Adventurers Guild, Max decided to take the rest of the day off. He went back to his temporary home to get some food, clean himself up, plan his next step, and as soon as night fell, so did he. When the sun came up the next day, Max got ready to begin his next labor. He set out for the mess hall. He comes to its grounds to see an already busy line of folks waiting to get their fill. He looks to see many servers come in and out with plates, some with food, and some with nothing but scraps. Max notices the servers always holding a smile as they serve or pick up plates, despite some of their clientele being rude. Ugh. He wishes to emulate them and gets filled with a sense of honor, duty, and pride. He straightens his stance, puffs his chest out, and walks into the mess hall with a ray of confidence. As he approaches it, the door opens to smack him in the face, with the server bringing out more food. Still undeterred from this, Max continues with his prideful march, but with a red mark on his face. Once inside, he looks to see a large opening filled with 3 floors of just tables, chairs, and a lot of people. My God! In the center of the mess hall is a stage where a live band plays music to give the folks something to listen to as they dine. Through it all, the ever-swift shifting of the servers is endless. They are sliding in and out, effortlessly cleaning tables, escorting folks, and doing it all with a smile. Max is still so entranced by the beauty of how everything is flowing so intricately that he loses sight of where he's going and bumps into the podium that rests at the entrance. Hey! Who's making all the noise? Just then, the doors at the side, which appears to be a kitchen, comes a well-dressed middle-aged man with slicked back hair and a well-groomed mustache, checks in on to see what all the commotion is. He's wearing a black double-button chef's coat covered by an apron with a funny message on it. He looks down at Max in his fallen podium and rushes over. Oh no! What happened? Let me help you up! The man rushes over to Max and helps pick it up. After doing so, he cleans it up and makes sure it's in tip-top shape. As he does, Max gets up and quickly pats himself off. Afterwards, the man is relieved that his podium is still in good shape and turns his attention to Max, looking slightly upset. Hey, what's the big idea? Why are you on the floor trying to make it with my podium? Who are you anyway? One of the dancers I hired? You certainly look like it with that outfit of yours. Max is again peeved by another crack someone made at his attire. No, my name is Max. I'm here to lend a hand. The man eyes Max up and down and isn't a fan of what he's seeing. He doesn't say anything, but by his facial expression alone, Max can guess that his services will not be needed. Okay, here's what we are gonna do. You can't be a server. Your posterior's no good, and your smile scares me. So we're gonna use you in the kitchen. You can be Franco's taster. Taster? Don't you have one already? Just then, from the same door that the man came from, a loud, painful scream is heard. Ah! Oh my God, it tastes like acid! Ah! Looks like that position is open now. You take! Alright, cool, thanks. Oh, before I leave, I didn't get your name. I'm a Giuseppe. I run the mess hall with my husband, Franco. I run the servers and entertainment. He does the cooking. Speaking of cooking, best you get in there. My Franco doesn't have much patience. Good luck. Max is shoved off by the host known as Giuseppe and is forced into the kitchen. He passes through the doors. It's quiet, pristine, the complete opposite of what the mess hall looks like. In the room are 10 rows of solid white countertops, and by them are servers setting and plating food for many, many diners. Max goes to the nearest server and just observes the every minute detail that they are putting into each plate as they set it. He is mesmerized and captivated by it, but that all snaps when he hears the loud pan drop followed by a wailing groan from across the room. He looks to see that even though his focus broke, the servers weren't distracted and kept on setting without missing a beat. Max looks at where the noise came from to see a giant out-of-place wooden sign reading above, "Kitchen, keep out." Max goes to it and passes through the doors, enters into a completely different kind of room, one that is completely opposite from the adjacent. Piles of crates covered in dust, slops of excess food all over the area, a large cauldron in the center of the room lit over a large roaring fire, and stirring the cauldron is a large troll of a man wearing a similar apron, yet with an unflattering message. Max approaches the beast of a man as he dumps in 2 sacks of mixed foods into the cauldron. The man doesn't notice Max and just minds his own business, stirring the cauldron. Max waves at him to get his attention, but he doesn't see. So Max goes to his side and pushes against him to try and get his attention. But again, nothing happens. So he pushes again, but harder this time. And this time, the chef stops. Suddenly, a rumbling sound can be heard, and Max perks up, but then a large blast of ass flies out. Unfortunately for Max, he was in the blast zone and falls down gagging. Max gags so loud that the chef stops stirring and looks down to see Max in his petrified state.
What the? Who the heck are you?
Upon seeing the giant's face, Max is frightened and tries to scream, but can't get a full burst out. It's a mix of gags and dry screams. The chef turns and reaches out to Max and tries to pick him up. Max narrowly avoids his hands and rolls out of the way and starts throwing whatever he can get his hands on at him. Soon the two start screaming at each other like a bunch of idiots until Giuseppe comes in. Ah! Hey! What's up with all the noise? The two stop and turn to Giuseppe. Franco, stop! This is Max, our new taste tester. What are you trying to do? Eat him? Franco says nothing but grunts. Max, this is the chef of the mess hall and my husband, Franklin, or as I call him, Franco. Max looks at the two and is stunned by how different the two are. One average height and looks like any other person he's ever seen. The other, a troll/giant looking man. Ah, I see. Good. Now you two shut up, behave, and make the food. After playing peacekeeper, Giuseppe steps out and returns to resume his side of duty. Meanwhile, Max and Franklin have an awkward moment. They just stand there, both side-eyeing each other, but as soon as their eyes make the slightest bit of contact, they break apart like a shy meet-cute moment. Ooh, coy. So, you two are married, huh?
Yeah? What's it to you?
Oh, nothing. Just couldn't help but notice the striking difference between you two. Franklin says nothing and turns back to his cauldron. Max remains still and sighs shortly after. There it is again. The audible sigh, knowing he could have said something different. To rectify his mistake, Max goes next to Franklin and tries to help out wherever he can. He stands next to the big man, but he is still far too short to see what's in the cauldron. Luckily, to his left, he sees a bunch of crates from earlier and brings them over one by one and stacks them. After making his own steps, Max makes his way up to see into the cauldron. Before seeing anything, Max assumed a large stew or soup was being made, but he was dead wrong. There was liquid of some sort mixed with assorted foods that weren't being processed normally as they should be. They remained whole and firm while simultaneously being cooked thoroughly. What the? I'm no cook, but what's happening in there defies all rules of cooking.
What? You've never seen a magic cauldron before?
No, can't say I have. Then again, I'm not from here, so pretty much everything I've encountered has been jaw-dropping for me.
Hey, small fry, I didn't ask for your life story, so shut it.
Alright then, is there anything you need me to do at the moment, or is there anything I can do to help?
No, beat it.
But,
don't need no buts. Now scram.
No!
What did you say? You want to get squashed?
I already tasted a blast from your ass. So how much worse could you do?
Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
As the two are about to throw down hands once more, Giuseppe comes running back into the kitchen, all panic and frantic. Franco! Max! We have an emergency! The two man-children hush their squabble and turn their attention to Giuseppe.
What is it, Giuseppe? Is there a fight? I'll come out there and end it.
No, Franco, no! Not a fight, but worse! A birthday! A child's birthday!
Ah, crap. All right, I'm on it.
As Franklin takes the helm and rushes to the cupboard station at the back wall, Giuseppe sort of breaks down. Max is confused by both of their reactions. What's the big problem? It's just a kid's birthday. Just bake him a cake, throw some candles on it, and sing a song. After hearing Max's dismissive attitude towards the whole situation, Giuseppe gasps at Max, and Franklin drops a few ingredients in frustration. How rude! Who are you so callous to a child's birthday? Also, why are you trying to make it more difficult by adding candles that won't fit in a song that doesn't match a one's birthday? You don't do candles and sing happy birthday here? Happy birthday song? What's that? Max smiles as he finally finds his purpose at the mess hall. He stands firm and proud, with his fist pressed over his chest, and stands like a military commander in a portrait. Why are you standing like that? You hurt your back or something? All right, Giuseppe, you go out there and do what you normally do. I'll stay in here and help Franklin bake a nice birthday cake with candles. Then I'll help with the song.
No, you ain't.
Max helps Giuseppe out the door, but Giuseppe protests. Max, how are you gonna bake a cake? Franco, he is an amazing cook. But baker? This is something he cannot do. Every time he tried in the past, no matter how much time he spent learning, everything went up in flames. Don't worry about it, Giuseppe. He's in good hands. I've baked a cake or two back at my home. Just tend to the guests and leave the rest to me and Franklin. Oi, Maron. Okay, I'll leave it to you, Max. Grazie. After shoving Giuseppe off, Max turns to Franklin, who has already started mixing ingredients. He goes to the back wall where there's 3 ovens lined up, but they all look worn out and covered in dust. Yet again, everything is too big for Max, so he has to move things around to help where he can. When he makes his way to Franklin's level, he is met with a blast of feet, followed by a loud clanging noise. Thinking he got blasted by Franklin again, Max almost faints. However, it was just the oven. Max looks up at Franklin, smiles, giving him a thumbs up. Meanwhile, Franklin reciprocates by flipping him off, still bitter over their dispute. Good lord. Time passes on, and the two wait for the cake to finish. With only a minute left on the timer, the two get anxious and are eager for how it turns out. 30 seconds left, and something goes wrong. Black smoke starts to seep out, and the two panic. Franklin rushes over to open the oven, and a tiny flame in the middle lays. Franklin pulls it out and gets upset, grunting aggressively. It's all right, Franklin. Let's just do another one. This time, let me be present to see how you prepare the ingredients. After calming down, Franklin starts over again. He mixes sugar and butter. He mixes it slowly together, and after a little while, he adds 2 eggs as well as a little bit of vanilla. As the batter starts to stiffen up, Franklin begins to mix in flour and milk, alternating between the two. Once the batter was made, he pours it into a cake pan and throws it into the oven. Max nods to Franklin, signaling that he did everything right. In return, Franklin nods back at him. Wow. 5 minutes go by, and the cake burns again. This time, the flame is larger. Franklin pulls it out and uses his hat to put out the fire. After that, he gets angry and annoyed. It's okay, Franklin. Don't worry about it. These things happen. Let's just try again. Against his better judgment, Franklin starts again. He mixes sugar, butter, then eggs, and vanilla, as well as flour and milk alternatively. He then pours it into the cake pan. Suddenly, it spontaneously erupts into flames! What the hell? Max is stunned by what just happened, while Franklin outwardly screams in frustration. He tries again. Sugar, butter, mix. Adds eggs and vanilla, then pours in flour and milk. Another flame erupts! His anger grows as he throws the mixing bowl across the kitchen. He tries again. Sugar and butter mix. Adds 2 eggs, and another flame erupts! Franklin kicks the oven, breaking it. Luckily, it was the worst one. He tries one last time, but tries to calm himself. He inhales slowly and exhales slowly afterwards. He grabs a new mixing bowl, adds sugar to it, and when he reaches for the butter, the bowl erupts in flames! Oh! So that is what Giuseppe meant when it always goes up in flames. Franklin screamed so loud that the entire area and around the mess hall heard him. Giuseppe freaks out and runs back into the kitchen to check on him. Max runs to put out the fire as best he can, and somehow gets it, eventually. He then goes to Franklin, who is wallowing in a stupor. "Hey there, big guy. It's all right. Stuff happens. Don't worry about it." Franklin says nothing and sits in his foul mood. Giuseppe walks in to see several put-out fires, a broken oven, and his husband sitting in a corner, upset. He tries to go to him, but notices Max talking it over with him and waits to see what'll happen. "Hey, Franklin, want to know something I just figured out?"
What?
Despite how you look, and how this kitchen looks and operates, you're a really good cook.
Huh?
Franklin is confused by Max's backhanded compliment. Well, based on the 2 times I've been here, this place is always super busy. I know it's a place where people can eat for free, but where I come from, most free things aren't that good. However, you and Giuseppe have a real good thing going for this place, and I know it's not just for the free food. It's good food. You're a really good chef. Take pride in that. So what if you can't bake now? You'll learn just like you did when you started cooking. I bet you sucked back then, but look at you now. I know this may come across as preachy or pushy just to encourage you to bake that cake, but what do you say we try one more time? This time, we do it together. As much as Franklin doesn't want to agree with Max, he can't help but crack a smile. He sighs. Great, now he's doing it. Gets up and grabs another mixing bowl and the last of the ingredients that they have. Giuseppe smiles as Max raises Franco's morale and gets him to rally one more time. He leaves knowing his husband was left in good hands. The two work together and start mixing and pouring, then throw the pan in the oven. They eagerly await and pray for the cake to not catch on fire. 5 minutes left, and a nice smell starts to seep out from the oven and flows throughout the kitchen, the prepping area, and into the entrance of the mess hall. 4 minutes remain, and the batter has turned nice and golden brown. 3 minutes to go, and the cake takes its final form, firming up real nicely. 2 more minutes, and the anticipation is an all-time high, as micro-pops can be heard, finalizing the baking process. 1 minute is all that remains, and the 2 bakers get their mitts ready for extraction and frosting. The oven has rung its alarm! The cake is done! Franklin quickly but carefully pulls it out and sets it on the oven to cool. As it cools, Max gets to work on a nice thick and fluffy vanilla frosting. When finished, Franklin transfers the cake from pan to plate and begins frosting it with Max. When finished, Franklin grabs a bundle of candles and snaps them into thirds and puts 10 of them on the cake. It's done! The cake is finished, and it is turned out... What the hell is that? That is not a cake, that is a... Oh, never mind, let's just keep going. And it is turned out... beautifully! But before they bring it out, Max stops Franklin and teaches him a certain song. Ooh, I think you know which song it is. When they finish, Giuseppe comes in to see the spectacle that is the cake and is overjoyed. He goes to Franco and hugs and kisses him. Afterward, Max shares an idea to Giuseppe that he and Franklin came up with. Giuseppe hears it and smiles ear to ear and is more than happy to oblige. They put the cake on the large serving table, light the candles, and get ready for the song. Franklin and Max make their way to the stage and have the curtains closed to dim the mess hall. Everyone quiets as Giuseppe wheels out a lit birthday cake and brings it to the kids' table. When it approaches, Max and Franklin start to sing. Everybody likes it, and soon Max shouts out for everyone to join in, and they do! A big party happens, and the mess hall is a big buzz! Yay! Hours go by, and the party dies down. Max leaves for the night, but in the morning he returns to do it all over again. By the end of the second day, Max is noticeably spent. He's exhausted, worn out, and crashes the instant he gets into his bed. On the third day, he helps Franklin with food tastings and baking new things that even he has never tried. Some flops, other successes, but like all things in life, it all ends eventually. Before leaving the mess hall, he gets a personal goodbye from both Giuseppe and Franklin. Maximo, my friend, Thank you for all your help. Giuseppe gives Max his signature goodbye. A kiss on each cheek, followed by a small peck on the lips. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Then Franklin does the same. Reasonably, Max protests. No, oh God. But he is no match for Franklin's size and strength.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.
After being freed from Frankenstein's clutches, he can't help but feel loved from each of them and gives them a hug. Max leaves the mess hall, but not with one, but now 2 filled-out labor forms. One from Franklin and the other from Giuseppe. Max has now filled his required quota for Yorick. But will he end there? Who knows? That is where we will end this episode. In next episode, who knows what will happen? Will Max turn in the 3 of the 5 and say goodbye? Or will he say, and go for another 2 more because he likes corporate punishment? Well, I don't know what's corporate about that, but I guess he's got some S&M kind of kink. Oh well. Thank you for stopping by, folks, and that was a little awkward of me just to say. I do apologize. Have a good night.